Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Snark Bait. I'm Christy.
I'm Sophie, and today we were talking about the one and only Anna Delvey, her background, her early life, the beginnings of her fraud, and her unraveling, her arrest, everything. So let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it. This one is very juicy. I learned a lot knowing nothing about Anna Delvey before, so let's do it.
Hi, Christy.
Hey Sophie, how are you?
We're back. Thank you for holding down the fort while I took some time off. I appreciate you. And also, I'm feeling really pretty now that I know about the Zoom filter that you never told me about.
I'm trying to see if I'm like, dude, does everyone know about that? I felt like everyone just knew about that.
Well, okay, the thing about me is that I'm a fucking dumbass. So like everyone may have known about it. I
Ugh.
obviously did not. But anyway, Christy, how are you doing? I feel like it's been so long.
I know. I feel like it's been forever since you and I have hopped on the mic. I'm looking at our calendar and I'm like, okay, when was the last time you and I actually recorded? And my goodness, it has been like over a week.
Wow, that's like a record for us.
No, it really is. The last time we recorded was Sunday, September 28th. It is Tuesday, October 7th. And this episode is going to come out in 2 days. But yeah, it's literally been over a week. This is the longest I think we've ever gone without recording. But I'm so back and I'm so happy to be back on the mic with you. How does it feel? Do you feel reinvigorated? Do you feel like your mental is like all good? Like, how are you feeling right now?
Eh, I mean, it was nice to have some time off for sure. I feel like I just was feeling very burnt out with work and just with everything. And so I spent a few days at home for the Jewish holiday with Henry and my parents, and it was just nice and relaxing. So thank you for allowing me to do that. What's new with you? Like, what have I missed? Any updates?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I'm like trying to remember what I even did. Well, I actually would love to hear your TLDR thoughts on the life of a showgirl
Oh
because
yeah.
we've been talking about it on text and obviously I released
Hmm.
my thoughts on the episode a couple of
Yep.
days ago. But I guess high level, I want to hear what you think about the album overall and your most favorite, like your favorite song and then your least favorite song.
I immediately texted you and the Snark Bait group chat that I was disappointed with the album immediately on first listen. And I will say that I feel like Midnight's and Tortured Poets Department were also albums where I was like, yeah, like right off the bat, not that into it. Midnight's has since grown on me. I There are a lot of songs from Midnight's that I really like. Tortured Poets Department never grew on me.
Yeah.
Even though I know that you love that album. I have not like connected with this album in any way. I honestly don't have a favorite song. I think that the entire album is bad, if we're being honest. I will say that I have Good Thing I Like My Friends Canceled stuck in my head, which I hate. So I guess I mean there is something to be said about the fact that it's stuck in my head against my will. But overall, I do not like it. And I think that there is a lot of deserved backlash that
Yeah.
she and her team are getting for not only the lyricism, which is just not up to par. I think it's like it's not that it's necessarily, I mean, it is really bad, but it's like we expect so much better from Taylor Swift. She is a lyricist. Like that is what we know her for. She's not,
Yeah.
Adele with the amazing vocals. She's not, I don't know, Tate McRae with like the dance moves. Like she is known for her lyrics. So
Right.
the lyrics are disappointing. She already has, I think, 38 different variants of this
Yes.
album, which is also people are like, enough. And then also with the doors and the AI videos, a lot of people are mad about that. So I just feel like this whole rollout has been just bad.
Wait, what do you mean the doors? Sorry, I don't know if I know that reference.
So I guess I'm surprised that you, a Swiftie, don't know this. She basically, like, there are doors around the world that the Taylor Swift team released AI videos that had clues, and every
What?
door, like, it all strung together a sentence. And the sentence was
Oh,
something along the lines of, remember everything, but especially this, the crowd is king. And so basically did this AI slop in
yeah.
order to get across a message that people had already heard because those are lyrics, right? The crowd is king.
Oh my God, I don't know if I'm aware of any of this.
Wow. But she's getting
Yeah.
um yeah, so they're lyrics from the life of a showgirl.
Okay.
And the crowd is your king. And yeah, these AI slop videos. And so people are like, Taylor, weren't you someone who took a stance against AI when it was being used against her? And now, and she's also someone that is very much a proponent of, protecting your individual property. And a lot of this AI slop is, in a way, plagiarizing real art and also taking away from real artists.
Sure. Yeah. I after a few days of even releasing the episode or recording my episode, she keeps coming out with the variants, and every time I see a new Instagram post from her, I'm like, Taylor, stop. Like
Stop.
your team has to tell you that people are upset, and I have to hand it to you. That carousel, the 20 photo carousel you posted on our Instagram at Snark Pod, you guys have to go see it. I was howling. Sophie put together the funniest fucking tweets, and in fact, my other group chat with Shannon, Fluently Ford, Emily, it's become a whole thing, and Kelly Laguna Biatch, they were like, dude, Sophie fucking killed that. Like, it was the funniest thing. We've been sharing like so many things. They were dying at the when did the leak happen? When did the carbon
No, like
monoxide leak happen?
there was a carbon monoxide leak. This cannot be the same woman who wrote folklore.
I was dying. And then the last one was, I got 5 pieces of shit of this in the mail. Like
I know.
the variant, that one was the funniest one to me.
Oh my God, so many of them were so real. I think the one that really spoke to me the most, and I'm so sorry, I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but I included all of the handles of the person who tweeted it, all of these tweets attributed to the artist, their
Because
intellectual property.
you're a woman that supports small businesses
Yeah, exactly.
because you have a business that you're passionate about.
But someone who, it was the Taylor Swift album to Evermore, and it said, we had a good run. We had a good run. I think it's like 3 albums in a row. And like I said, Midnight's has grown on me, but uh, I mean, it's like kind of 3 albums in a row that are like kind of disappointing. And I don't know, maybe she set the bar too high with Folklore and Evermore. Like
Yeah.
those were career highs for her.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I'm just, it's disappointing. I've also seen, the TikToks about how the music sounds very similar to, Jonas Brothers, Jackson 5.
Yes.
There are plenty of tracks. I like can't name all of them.
Juana, Demi.
And it's
Yes.
like
It's endless.
Taylor has sued people for less. So I think there's just a lot of like hypocrisy that people are starting to point out, from the AI to the plagiarizing. I mean, it sounds plagiarized, some of the beats and music.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Don't come for us, Swifties. I think even the fact that like people have been very open about this criticism and aren't getting death threats from Swifties, I think that's a sign that it's just not
It's not
not
landing.
not landing, not a good album. There were some comments being like, you're so brave for posting this on
I
Instagram.
know.
You guys, we got no death threats. So like I think
No.
for the most part people agree.
No, and I think this is the first album that Swifties like myself can acknowledge that this is just not it. And I was curious because Taylor is so obsessed with public perception and being accepted by the public, making sure that every album of hers is like the next accolade, the next milestone in her career. And I'm just so curious what Tree Pain is telling her and how she's kind of taking care of herself as all this criticism is coming because she's not going
Yeah.
to handle it well.
Yeah, it's bad. And I think like the AI slop on top of it was just like, what are you doing? Like whose idea was this? Why did anyone think that was a good idea? Especially, with a fan base that notices every little detail and every Easter egg. And they're noticing that the AI, the words that are misspelled because of AI, and just the misshapen, a squirrel whose leg disappears and like a hanger that disappears. Like, it is literally slop. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? You have the means to pay an artist.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's very disappointing. Just everything about it.
I'm glad that you're speaking about this because I feel the majority of people will actually agree more with your take than with my take on Monday. So, because a lot of people, when I release the episode, they're like, "Can we hear Sophie's thoughts now?" We're ready to hear Sophie's
I
thoughts. So,
I definitely have more thoughts. I feel like I can go into detail at some point. But those are like my top line thoughts. We also, before the album, recorded our Patreon episode that came out yesterday, where I interviewed Christy, a Swiftie, about Taylor and our predictions for the album. So this obviously was before the album was released. So go give that a listen. But yeah, I'm disappointed, and I feel like I don't know. Like, when the next album comes out, I will definitely have my expectations lower for
yeah.
sure. I think maybe my expectations were too, I think everyone's were.
Yeah. I mean, after releasing Folk More and
Yeah.
TTPD, where the lyrics were so strong and poetic, this was like a different person almost. So it's understandable why people are having this criticism.
When I tell you, okay, so that night that it came out at midnight, I put on my headphones and I listened to it as I fell asleep. When I heard the I'm not a bad bitch and this isn't savage,
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
heard that, when I heard my dick's bigger,
No, everyone was shocked.
I
It
was
set
like, there's
airwaves.
no way. I remember I texted the group chat and I was like, there's no way you guys think this is good. And
Me and Rachel
Christy,
were fighting for our
yeah,
lives.
you guys were like, wait, I'm kind of into it. I was like, there's no way. There's no way.
Sophie was being so funny. She was, I actually look at Taylor a little differently after this
No,
album.
like I literally like I kind of got the ick.
No, I totally understand why. Like, I'm not even hating on you or shading you because it's all warranted and it all makes sense. Like, I'm not gonna be some like, I don't know. I'm not blind and I'm not deaf, and I know what I've heard. So
You
I
know
get it.
you heard. Can I also say that Hope Godwin on TikTok, her versions were better than the actual versions. And she is the one, just to remind you, who had the life of a showgirl is as follows. Like, that is still stuck in my head. That is better than any actual song on the album.
When you said that, Jordan goes, "It's stuck in my head too," because that's all Sophie and I were
Yeah.
singing at our Snark retreat. And Jordan's like, "Why do you keep doing that? It's not even a song." We're like, "No, it's a song to us, though. I don't think you understand."
And like, it turns out that that should have been the actual song.
They have to. Jordan just goes, and to be clear, it's catchier too.
It's way catchier. It's
Yeah.
way catchier. Okay. Anyway, I think it's time to get into our subject of the day, which is one Anna Delvey. Christy, what are your initial what word association? What comes to mind? What are your thoughts on Anna Delvey in this present day?
A hack, a fraud. Those are the two things that come into my mind. And I'm actually really excited for you to walk me through Anna Delvey because I didn't watch. What was that show on Netflix? God,
Was
what
it
was it called?
called My Friend Inventing Anna? The book was called My Friend Anna. The show
Yes.
actually was not that good. I also didn't love the book. My source of truth here is the original Cut article. If you remember
Okay.
that Cut article when it came out, I believe in 2018.
Interesting. It's always the cut that has the first story. Same with what's it called? Unknown Number with Kendra Lakari.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
exactly.
I know nothing about Anna Delvey other than like the top
Wow.
line, like TLDRs that everyone else knows. But I'm
Mhm.
very excited for you to educate me because I know she was and still is a divisive character. And quick question: is she still incarcerated or has she been?
No, she is out. She still wears her ankle monitor, I believe.
Gotcha.
But no, she's been out for quite some time.
Oh, you're right.
And
She was on Dancing with the Stars. I forgot.
yeah, she
Okay.
was on Dancing with the Stars with her ankle monitor. I, I had my moment where I was like, you know what? I respect the hustle. She literally faked it till she made it. And a lot of the people that she scammed were banks, hotels, her wealthy friends. So a lot of people are like, slay queen. I still can't get behind her. I actually recently unfollowed her during her most recent scandal with the bunny rabbits, which we will get into. And I was like, I don't no, like I don't want to support this. I can't support it. I think that she does have a lot of fans that respect the hustle and the way that she is, like I said, faked it till she literally made it. I can't get behind her for a lot of reasons, but I guess let's get into her background. And if you guys aren't familiar with Anna Delvey, she is the fake German heiress who swindled, like I said, banks, hotels, wealthy friends in New York City, ended up on Dancing with the Stars, and is now arguably a household name, depending on your
Yeah.
household. She's a
Yeah.
household name in my household.
Yeah.
So as for her background, Anna Delvey was actually born Anna Sorkin in, I don't know how to pronounce this, in Domodedovo near Moscow, Russia, on January 23rd, 1991. So she is 34. When she was 16 in 2007, her family moved to Germany and settled in a small town in North Rhine, Westphalia. And she was actually very popular in Russia. But when they moved to Germany, she had more trouble fitting in. She was kind
Mm.
of quiet, struggled learning the German language. And her German classmates actually bullied her by calling her Barbie, which I feel like is a compliment. It was because she was obsessed with fashion, always dressing up. She was obsessed with Vogue. So obviously, we know that she would go on to call herself a German heiress, but she was anything but. Her dad, Vadim, was a truck driver and then later an executive at a transport company. He later opened an HVAC business. Her mom was a homemaker. And yeah, she ended up finishing school in 2011 and moved to London to go to Central St. Martin's, an art school. She dropped out and went back to Germany shortly after. That is when she started interning at a PR company in Berlin, before then moving to Paris in 2013, where she interned for Purple, a French fashion magazine. And her parents did support her during this time.
Hmm.
Uh, they weren't heiress level rich, but they were able to support her. She was only making around 400 euros a month.
Now, a quick ad break to talk about Lola blankets. If you listen to this podcast, you already know that we are obsessed with Lola blankets. And trust me, they truly live up to the hype. My favorite new ritual and way to wind down after a long day of running a business that I'm passionate about is pouring myself a glass of red wine, grabbing my Lola blanket, and putting on the most troubling true crime documentary I can find. I have the size large, and it's truly so soft, big, cozy, and it has this signature four-way stretch that just makes it my go-to blanket. Seriously, no other blanket compares. And the best part, they're machine washable. So if I happen to spill some red wine or Hank comes over, I don't have to worry about a thing. I cannot wait for you guys to see what the Lola hype is all about. I promise there is a reason they're all over your FYP lately. I've even turned my friends and family onto them, and they're all obsessed. Once you go Lola, you'll never go back to your other blankets, seriously. And for a limited time, our listeners are getting a huge 35% off their entire order at lolablankets.com by using code SNARK at checkout. Just head to lolablankets.com and use code SNARK for 35% off. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Wrap yourself in luxury with Lola blankets. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. October 10th is World Mental Health Day, and this year we're saying thank you to our therapists. Unfortunately, therapy isn't accessible to all, but that's why BetterHelp is such an amazing platform. BetterHelp therapists have helped over 5 million people worldwide on their mental health journeys. That's millions of times a therapist showed up, listened, and helped someone take a step forward. Moments in therapy like the right question, a safe space to cry, or a small win can change lives. I know those moments in therapy have changed mine. This World Mental Health Day, BetterHelp wants to show our listeners how simple it can be to find the right therapist and support for you. BetterHelp makes it easy. Start with a short questionnaire to help identify your needs and preferences, and they'll match you with a therapist who's right for you. If you aren't happy with your match, you can switch to a different one who fits the bill at any time. BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the US. This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who've helped millions of people take a step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/snarkbait. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/snarkbait.
And Paris is where she developed her alter ego, aka Anna Delvey. And she said that the name Delvey is based on her mom's maiden name, but her parents, according to New York Magazine, have never heard the name Delvey. It does not call back to anything in their family at all. It was
What?
completely pulled out of her ass.
And it's such a low level thing to lie about. Oh, this is, my mother's maiden name. If it's not, then why would you even say that? That's so funny.
I know, she's so weird. So the fraud officially begins in 2013. And this is when she goes to New York Fashion Week for the first time. And she realized it was easier to make friends in New York City than Paris. So she just stayed. And honestly, I can see this.
Yes.
Like, she has this very ambiguous European accent, and that will land better in the US. I feel like just having any sort of like European accent is almost, I don't want to say a status symbol, but like Americans like that.
It is so funny to think about how Americans really adore, it's particularly like the British accent. I think about like single women and they're like, oh, the British accent, it's so hot. I'm like, what about it though? I don't know.
I don't know, but I think it is attractive when someone has an accent. Like,
Yeah.
I can't explain it. It's intriguing.
Agreed. Like sociologically speaking or like anthropologically speaking, why? I'm not judging anyone, just why? Curious.
I think it's because we're from America, so we're like, you're not interesting. Like, you're just from here.
Yeah, we're like trash. And then we
Yeah.
look at Europe, we're like, you're so refined and like dignified.
Yeah, you're European. You're just
Yeah.
like automatically chicer. So she ended up transferring to Purple Magazine's New York office. And, she is making her way in New York. And again, the fraud really begins here. She started presenting herself as a wealthy German heiress with a 60 million euro trust fund.
Sure.
Which obviously did not exist. Again, they were helping support her with rent and living expenses for a bit, but there was no trust fund. They were very blue collar for the most part. Again, like her dad was a truck driver and then had an HVAC company. They were not, super, super wealthy or anything. She had certain tactics. One of them was tipping in huge amounts of cash. And it kind of helped her create this persona of people just believing that she was rich, even though she wasn't. And it helped her gain the trust of people. They were like, oh, she has money, she has cash. Whereas realistically, anyone, I mean, you can get out cash, like anyone can go to an ATM and get out cash as long as you have, $200 in your bank account. Get out $200 in cash, you tip with that. And to be frank, she had at times less than $200 in her bank account.
Wow.
At one point, she has negative $9,000 in her bank account.
Oh my God.
Which is crazy that the bank just let her like overdraft like that. But she was always carrying around huge wads of cash, which was basically how she helped build this persona.
Yeah. Right. Because it's so uncommon for someone to even be carrying around cash in this day and age, unless you're tipping like your nail person or like your esthetician, because they like to be tipped in cash. They don't want like the tax record of it. But that's really weird to be tipping large sums of cash.
Yeah. But it's funny. So she would be in full heiress mode, but would have nowhere to stay. So she would be asking friends to stay with them and said that she was like between apartments. She would be out clubbing and then would say, oh my God, I forgot my credit card. I'll pay you back. And would have other people pick up the bill, and then she would never pay them back, obviously. She was always
Okay.
bragging about her clothes. She was always decked out in designer. Uh, but she was essentially homeless.
What?
Yeah. And this is until she started living at hotels. So one of the hotels that Anna famously lived at for quite some time. So Anna was staying at the Beekman Hotel in Soho, a very she hotel, and didn't have a credit card down, but they didn't realize it. They didn't realize that her credit
What?
card did not work. So she was staying there for free for quite some time. She ended up becoming friends with one of the women that worked there. They became really close friends. And so she also, would kind of help her skate by while staying here and not paying.
What?
Eventually, of course, they noticed and they were like, we need a valid credit card that works.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But while staying at this hotel and kind of pretending to be this heiress and socialite, she started connecting with people, including art collector Michael Zufu Wing. And she would start traveling with these people, and she went to Venice with him and was like, I'm going to pay you back. Don't worry. Like, my credit card, it was always something with her credit card that didn't work. And she would cry, and then she would never end up paying them back. But still, everyone assumed she was good for it because she was so good at playing this role and this persona.
You know what I'm thinking of as you're speaking? I'm thinking about these objectively like attractive white women, I guess. Elizabeth Holmes, who was able to
Yeah.
con like senators and the biggest like Silicon Valley investors, and Anna Delvey with all these like in shishi hotels and connecting with all these like socialites in New York City. It's like this personality disorder when when you think it and believe it, it becomes real. And so it's like as long as you believe it in your head, then you can make sure others believe it as well. And I think there's a disorder for this to a degree. It's like histrionic personality disorder. And I want to actually Google exactly. So it's like a mental health condition characterized by excessive emotionality, attention-seeking behaviors, and dramatic or theatrical displays. So exaggerated emotional expression, attention-seeking behaviors, easily influenced by other shallow or rapidly shifting emotions, need for reassurance and approval, self-centeredness. I know a couple people like this in my real life, maybe not to this degree, but it has to be some type of personality
Yeah.
disorder. And I think coupled with the fact that there are these objectively attractive white women that have either this weird deep accent, like in the instance of Elizabeth Holmes or Anna Delvey, who has this European accent,
Hmm.
they're put to this other like level of, oh, we trust them because they speak this way, they dress this way, they behave this way,
Yeah.
therefore it must be true.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like she just gained people's trust somehow in a way
Mhm.
that actually is very impressive. And she would never pay for anything, but then everyone just assumed that she was good for it. Like I said, like it was always something with her credit card, but they believed that she would pay them back. And she obviously never did. And she actually at one point hired a PR firm to plan her big birthday party in 2016 at a New York City restaurant. Her credit card kept getting declined when it was time to pay. And the restaurant eventually reached out to her friend Michael, the art collector, to get Anna's contact information because she was dodging them. And this is when he started to get a little bit suspicious of her
Ah,
and noticed she was always paying in cash and obviously lived in a hotel. Um, she eventually repaid Michael because he ended up reimbursing the restaurant.
mhm.
Uh, Ended up paying him back, but then he eventually blocked her and ended their friendship. In 2016 is when she meets a woman named Rachel Deloche Williams while Anna is living at this hotel. And Rachel was a photo editor at Vanity Fair at the time, and they become best friends. And Rachel ends up playing a huge role in Anna getting exposed and arrested later on. In 2016 and 2017, Anna has this like big dream to start something called the Anna Delvey Foundation. She was like obsessed with the social scene and the art scene in New York. And it was supposed to be basically this private members club and art foundation, like think Soho House kind of. And she started to look around the city for funding, targeting, wealthy people in her social circle. She ended up finding a big, big building called the Church Missions House as an events venue and art studio. That was her proposal. And basically, she wanted it to be this huge visual art center and curated by artist Daniel Arsham, a friend she had made throughout the years. And she also wanted exhibits by Jeff Koons and Damien Hirst and some of these like big, big artists. And they're literally some of the biggest visual artists in the world. Like, I'm not super familiar with the art world, but like, these are some of the most iconic artists ever. And she was like, yeah, they're just gonna like collaborate with me on my like pipe dream social art house, whatever the fuck it is, foundation. Like, why the word foundation in it? What about it is a foundation?
It's interesting that you're bringing up the idea of an exclusive club because I was watching this video online and this woman brought up the idea of what exudes wealth in various cities like New York, San Francisco, or LA. And she explained that with San Francisco, it's about like what tech startup are you part of? What investments have you made in the next big thing? LA, it's Hollywood and elite circles like media and entertainment. But with New York, because of it being such a dense and highly populated city with minimal
Mhm.
space, exclusivity and status means being invited into these exclusive
Yeah.
clubs because you have access into these places where other normies aren't allowed in. So like by her establishing this private members only club like Zero Bond, for instance, or Soho House, you're already proving your worth to other people by saying, listen, I have a space we can all connect and hang out in, and the normal people aren't allowed in it.
Yeah, totally, totally. And yeah, so this was like her way of creating her own. She had been sneaking into these spaces, kind of scamming her way into them for so long, and now she's like, I'm going to make my own. And so she starts out by attempting to get a $22 million loan to lease this church missions house. She began submitting loan applications with false documents. So this is when it actually veered into like straight up very illegal fraud. She would use Microsoft Word to create fake bank statements to again show that she had the 60
What?
million. I don't know how she came up with like the 60 million number. I think she was like, yeah, that sounds good.
What?
So she was creating fake bank
Oh my God.
statements.
I mean, she's
Um,
pretty handy at the computer. I mean, God.
yeah, and so she was like, yeah, I have all of these bank accounts in Switzerland. I can't access them though because I'm in the US.
My offshore account that I can't access through
Yeah,
the internet,
yeah,
www.bankofsweden.com or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
What?
And it's so crazy also. She had like fake emails too of these like bankers. Like it was like a very, very, very complicated scam. She ended up hiring a real lawyer uh named Andrew Lance. And Lance actually was like trying to get this to happen for her because he believed her. So he put her in touch with big institutions like the City National Bank and Fortress Investment Group, was like, I'm trying to secure you this loan. And in November 2016, she made a loan application with these false documents. And City National said no because Anna could not give the source of the Swiss assets that she apparently had. Yeah, good job. She then applied to a loan from Fortress, and Fortress was like, we can only consider this if you pay us $100,000 to cover the legal expenses for the application.
I mean, not chump change.
Yeah.
100K. Jesus Christ.
And so she eventually ended up getting this $100,000 loan to convince this other bank or investment group that she actually had this money. And that was like something that she ended up doing, was kind of running her own Ponzi scheme. Whenever someone was like, Anna, where's my money? She would give them someone else's money. And then it was like a never ending cycle. Um, but yeah, so she basically convinced City National Bank to give her this $100,000 temporary overdraft by making the fake AOL email address of Peter Henneke, a Swiss bank official that obviously never existed.
You had me at AOL@AOL.com.
I know, right? During her trial, they discovered that she was Googling how to create untraceable fake emails. And when people started to get suspicious, she said that Peter died. She ended up inventing a new person named Bettina Wagner.
This woman must have had so much time to orchestrate fake bank statements, create fake email aliases, pull
Yep.
together $100,000 out of her ass. I mean, I'll give it to her. She's crafty as hell.
Oh yeah, she's super super scrappy. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, gotta respect the hustle. I mean, I don't really respect it, but like you kind of have to in a way.
Yeah,
Uh,
she makes it happen no matter at what consequence.
she closes the deal. She can
Yes, she
literally
does.
walk into any room and close the deal, literally.
Deal closer. Yeah, she should be a patron tier one.
Yeah. So she ended up wiring $100,000 to Fortress Investment Group as part of this due diligence. Like these fucking idiots at that City National Bank, whatever it's called. Fortress ended up getting suspicious due to inconsistencies in her paperwork. For example, her passport showed she was born in Russia, despite her claims of German heritage, being a German heiress. There were some inconsistencies there. She ended up blaming it. She was like, it's just, it was like the office where I got this passport, or like whatever it is. She would always have an excuse for it. And so then Fortress wanted to verify her assets by going to Switzerland to meet her bankers.
Oh,
This
fuck.
is obviously when she withdrew the loan application because her
Oh my
bankers in Switzerland didn't exist. I don't know what
God.
she thought would happen. Like, I don't know how she actually thought this would work. So, oh my God. In February 2017, Fortress gave Anna $55,000 of her deposit back because they didn't spend it on fees. She then spent this money on designer clothes, personal trainers, $800 highlights, $400 eyelash extensions, etc., etc., etc. And yeah, she was nonstop shopping at Elise Walker, Net-a-Porter. Like, it wasn't going towards, supporting herself or paying people back. It was literally just shopping, personal trainers, maintenance. And it's funny also because she spent so much money on her appearance. One of the telltale signs from the Cut article, someone mentioned that they could tell she wasn't actually a wealthy heiress because her hair looked cheap. Like her hair always looked
Oh,
fried.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's a telltale sign when you're wealthy, apparently. And people said this also, I think about Elizabeth Holmes, I want to say, that
Mm.
her hair was always frazzled. When you are rich, you look rich. Like your hair looks rich, like everything about you looks well maintained. And so that was kind of like a red flag for people that like if you know, you know. The average person wouldn't necessarily clock that,
Right.
but people in those circles were like there's something off about her hair.
Elizabeth Holmes, when I picture her, I just think of very fried blonde hair for some reason. Like that makes a lot of sense. Which is
Yep.
weird because she was
It's
at one
true.
point making a lot of money on private jets like every week, but apparently her personal she didn't like to put a lot of thought into her personal appearance with like the Steve Jobs turtleneck and everything. She didn't want to think about it. So
Yeah,
I guess that makes
totally.
sense.
So in early 2017, it's time for another hotel stay that she can't pay for. She checked into 11 Howard, and this is a boutique hotel in Soho that runs about $400 a night. And again, she never had a working credit card, but she was super generous to the staff, tipping them $100 at a time, was acting like an heiress. And so they didn't think much of it. And also, like, she's white, young, pretty. Like, she has that like white, pretty privilege. she becomes close with another employee. And this is what she does. She becomes close with these hotel employees so that they like kind of don't rat her out. One
Right.
employee in particular named Neff was interviewed for the Cut article. They became super close. Anna would treat her to wine, food, spa treatments. Um, and yeah, like she was constantly tipping the staff in cash so that they were like, she's good for it. Like she's actually an heiress. Like it's fine. Um, according to the Cut, that there's this line in the show that she says to some of the employees where she goes, "What are you bitches broke?"
Oh
And that actually apparently happened. So she was also, classist and rude at the same time, but for the most part was always walking around like, the heiress that she was. She was always eating at Le Cuckoo, which is the hotel's restaurant, which is a very, very, very upscale restaurant. She made friends with the chef, Daniel Rose, billed her food to her room, which she obviously never paid for. By March 2017, she was running out of money. She would invite friends out to dinner and drinks, but when the bill came, once again, she would conveniently forget her credit cards or claim they weren't working. At the same time, she was still out on the scene with Macaulay Culkin, just all
what?
the socialites. I know it's so random. Martin Shkreli, remember the pharma bro? And this is around the time that the hotel realized there was no credit card on file for Anna, even though the bill was $300,000 at this point.
Oh my God. Well, I guess that makes sense. I'm shocked it's not higher, considering
No, I
she
know.
lived there and went to it sounds like a French frickin' like five-star dining every day.
Yeah, she literally was living there, billing restaurant bills to her room that she wasn't paying for. She tried to give the hotel staff a case of Dom Perignon to try and win them over, but the hotel policy was like, we can't accept that. Absolutely not. We need you to actually pay for this shit.
Wow.
In April of that year, she deposited $160,000 worth of fraudulent checks into a Citibank account. She withdrew $70,000 before they returned, then wired $30,000 to 11 Howard to help pay her hotel bill.
Oh my God.
In May of that year, she sent a forged wire transfer confirmation from Deutsche Bank for $35,000 to book a return charter flight on a Blade business jet. She literally booked herself a private jet without being able to pay for it. She wanted to go to Omaha to attend the annual Berkshire Hathaway meeting so she could meet Warren Buffett. Blade later reported her to the police because she didn't actually pay. And they ended up asking the Blade CEO, they were like, why did you let her book a private jet without her paying for it in advance? And they were like, it was someone that ran in the social circle with her
Yeah.
and was like, I thought she was good for it. Like she is this German heiress.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The entry code to her room at 11 Howard was eventually changed because she still didn't pay her bill.
Right.
And so they confiscated all of her belongings and they finally evicted her. And this is actually really funny. To get back at them, she bought website domain names matching the hotel managers' names to try to ransom them for like millions of dollars.
Oh my God. She's vindictive too.
Yeah. Of course, they did not end up paying that. She ends up moving out of 11 Howard and into the Mercer Hotel with help from her friend Rachel for a couple days. She also stayed for a few nights at the Bowery Hotel, where she sent the hotel a fake wire transfer receipt from Deutsche Bank. It was like this rinse and repeat over the years. Like she would charm the staff and delay payment with excuses and then moved on and like without ever actually paying them. Have you ever been scammed before, by the way?
Ugh, I'm trying to think. Maybe back in like 2007 when using Craigslist and I might have sold my iPod. Like I can't remember if this happened to me or a girlfriend of mine in high school, but have you?
Okay, I got scammed. This reminds me of how I got scammed on Craigslist, like not that long ago, probably like 2 years ago. I think it was when Henry and I were moving. I think it was 2023. And I fell for the classic Craigslist scam because once again, I'm a fucking dumbass. And the Craigslist scam is when someone says, I was selling chairs and they were like, I want to buy these chairs, but I'm old and I don't know how to use online banking. So I'm going to send you a cashier's check. Is that okay? And I was like, yeah, sure. And they would also be like, we're going to like add a little bit extra
What?
onto the check so that you can pay the movers because the movers are going to pick up the chairs because I'm not in New York. And I was like, oh, it's just like a sweet old man who like
Yeah.
just needs to send a cashier's check and doesn't have, the ability to pick up the chairs himself. So I was like, yeah, sure. Deposited the cashier's check when I got it. It showed up in my bank account. And then the scam goes, they say that some emergency happened. In his case, his like daughter got in a car accident or something. They no longer want the furniture and want you to send the money back to them via online banking, which should have been the
What?
red flag. It's like, wait, I thought you didn't use online banking. I fell for that. I literally was like, yeah, sure. Oh, I'm sorry about your daughter. And then the cashier's check is fake. It shows up at first in your bank account.
I've heard of this scam. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
but it's not real money. It doesn't exist. So I ended up sending them like $1,600 because I'm a fucking dumbass. I ended up getting reimbursed by my bank because I was like, I got scammed.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's like you guys got to be
Violating.
careful out there. You got to be careful out there.
Yeah.
So in 2017 is also when the infamous Morocco trip happened. So she invites some of her friends on an all expenses paid trip to Morocco. All expenses paid in quotes for the record. And she invited her personal trainer, Casey Duke, a videographer, because she wanted to make a documentary about their trip, and then her friend Rachel. Booked a 5-star resort called La Mamunia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It was $7,000 per night for a
Um,
3-bedroom suite with a private pool and a butler. They were like living it up until the hotel realized that Anna's credit cards didn't work and demanded some sort of payment and like literally cornered them and was like, you guys are not leaving without payment.
what?
Anna
Is this
gave,
displayed in the show? I would love to see this. Like,
yes,
oh
yes.
my gosh.
Anna gave them tons of excuses, obviously, blamed the staff. Uh, like it became this huge ordeal. Anna convinced Rachel to pay the $62,000 bill, and that was more than a year's worth of her salary. And she split it on her personal card and her work Amex. So Rachel also ended up paying for the flights
What?
because Anna was like, "Oh, I'll pay you back. I'm paying for the hotel. You pay for the flights, I'll pay you back." And also stuff that Anna bought, a private tour of the Majorelle Garden. Of course, everything, Anna said she would pay her back for. Rachel gets back to New York and Anna only pays her 5K. And Rachel was like, I need my fucking money. I need to be reimbursed. Like, I cannot afford this. Amex was later, and this is also why Amex is great. Amex worked with Rachel to remove $52,000 of the charges on her credit card. Her work also was very understanding, thankfully. Um, this is when Rachel also started to get officially suspicious of Anna, which should have happened earlier. But she realized that Anna never paid anyone back and that everyone was told like a different backstory of Anna. And so this is when she's like, okay, I need to start collecting information on her. And eventually goes to the police. Um, okay, so back in New York, again, Rachel goes to the police and they are building their case on her. She's evicted from the Beekman Hotel because she could not pay her $11,000 bill. She went to the W New York downtown, did the same thing, evicted after 2 days, didn't pay her bill. She got a misdemeanor charge for theft of services from the Beekman and the W. And by July, she's homeless. She cried to her personal trainer, Casey, and pressured her into letting Anna stay with her. She asked Rachel. Rachel said no. Casey was like, it's time to go. Like, it's literally time to go. And Anna would not leave. Eventually, she did leave, though, but she left her laptop. And Casey left Anna's laptop with the doorman and was like, do not give this laptop to this girl and do not let her up under any circumstances. She started stalking the building.
Oh my God, that's really frightening too. It's
Yeah.
unsettling.
Yeah, Casey like couldn't leave her home. She was like a prisoner in her own home. The police caught Anna dining and dashing at the La Parker Meridian Hotel. Uh, and by now, she is being fully investigated. Like I said, Rachel reported her to the police. So the Manhattan District Attorney is investigating her for bank fraud. Casey and Rachel eventually confront Anna about not getting paid back. And she cries to them about how she will, once she gets the lease signed. Oh my God. So she is still, uh, keeping up the fraud even as she's confronted. She's like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Like I'm getting the building. Like it's gonna happen. The Anna Delvey Foundation is still in the works. In August of 2017, she deposits two more bad checks totaling $15,000 into an account at Signature Bank. She was able to withdraw $8,200 in cash before the checks bounce. So again, that is also why pretty much anyone, if you're willing to commit fraud, can carry around wads of cash. You commit check fraud, get the cash out, and then you're able to escape with the cash before the bank even realizes, which is, not something I would recommend, obviously. She was actually planning a trip to Passages in Malibu where she would probably, just hide away and ignore everyone.
Which is a rehabilitation center, which is like probably tens of like a couple
Yeah,
$1,000s a day.
yeah, exactly. She was finally arrested October 3rd, 2017 in a sting operation planned by the New York NYPD. And the lead officer was working with Rachel the entire time. Later that month, she was indicted on 2 counts of attempted grand larceny in the first degree, 3 counts of grand larceny in the second degree, 1 count of grand larceny in the third degree, and 1 count of misdemeanor theft of services for the fraudulent loan applications made to City, National, and Fortress, the check fraud, the cost of the trip to Morocco, and the unpaid hotel and restaurant bills. In total, she swindled an estimated $200,000 to $275,000 in unpaid bills, loans, and fraudulent credit.
Jesus Christ.
I know. So she ends up pleading not guilty and refused plea deals. She's held at Rikers during this time, and she made headlines for her like attitude towards reporters. She would act like she was sorry in the courtroom, but then to the reporter, she'd be like, "The thing is, I'm not sorry. I would do it all over again." She also would like show up in outfits that were styled by a stylist. And one day her trial or the day in court was delayed several hours because she didn't like her outfit and she didn't want to show up in her Rikers jumpsuit. She like refused to. She also had 13 disciplinary infractions at Rikers, including fighting with other inmates. She was ultimately placed in solitary confinement at one point. And then her notoriety in the media kept growing. In 2018, Jessica Pressler published that infamous article in The Cut. Netflix ended up paying Anna $320,000 for the rights to her story, which Shonda Rhimes later used to create Inventing Anna, which premiered in 2022. Even though she ended up getting sued by the New York Attorney General's office for profiting off of a crime that she was convicted of.
Yeah, I was gonna say Shonda Rhimes paying her the 320K, I guess, helped her get out a little bit out of her debt, but it's rewarding someone who doesn't deserve to be rewarded. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Um, since her trial ends up happening in 2019, and by this time she is kind of a pseudo celebrity. So there's like so much attention on her, lots of reporters there. Even though the trial ends up getting really boring, it's a lot of like boring bankers and people talking about like finances and stuff like that. At one point, she goes, "Where is everyone?" She like turned to her lawyer and she's like, "Where is everyone?" Because people started to like lose interest a little bit. She ended up getting found guilty of 3 counts of grand larceny for the major thefts from banks and others, 1 count of attempted grand larceny related to the failed $22 million loan attempt, and 4 counts of theft of services for the unpaid hotel and restaurant bills. But she was acquitted of one of the most serious charges of the indictment, attempting to steal more than $1 million from City National Bank. So she did get charged with stealing $62,000 from her friend Rachel, and the biggest one was the grand larceny from City National Bank. So something that her lawyer actually argued, which helped her out, was that she was planning on paying them back, you guys. Like that's literally what the lawyer argued. They were like, there's not like intent there. Like she was going to borrow the money and then she was going to pay them back. Like you cannot prove that she intended to steal this money without paying them back, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
In July 2019, Rachel publishes her book, My Friend Anna. She got $300,000 for the story. So it kind of all worked out for Rachel. She testified at the trial and she was like crying and saying it was the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to her, which I'm sure it was traumatic at that time, but it ended up working out for her. She got, a show, a book deal.
At least she had some good, reparations for it. And
yeah. Lena Dunham ended up paying Rachel $35,000 for an option for the TV rights to her story, but didn't use it. Inventing Anna happened instead. Anna was sentenced to 4 to 12 years in prison, so at least 4 years, but up to 12, depending on good behavior / parole. She was also fined $24,000 in order to pay $199,000 in restitution to repay the bank and others. A lot of this ended up coming out of Anna's $320,000 deal with Netflix, which I side-eye Netflix for paying her.
Yeah, I was going to say, so it's a Shonda Rhimes production, but Netflix was the distributor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't know. I guess they just care about the bottom line and they're like, this is the juiciest story ever. And it actually was a huge get for them because ultimately Inventing Anna was one of the biggest shows on Netflix during that time, I feel.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about it.
Even though it wasn't good. Like it really was not good or well done at all. But yeah, people enjoyed it, I guess. The judge in the trial noted Anna's major lack of remorse and declared herself stunned by the depth of the deception. She was transferred from Rikers to New York State prison system, initially at Bedford Hills Correctional Facility, a women's prison, and then later to Albion Correctional. In February 2021, she was released from prison on parole for good behavior after serving almost 4 years, and she was 30 when she was released. And so she was released and then immediately is like, I'm a celebrity. I'm a socialite now. She checked into the Nomad Hotel after getting released and hired a German camera crew to follow her and film her activities.
This is crazy because she owes so many like hotels and people hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
She got a $320,000 payout from Netflix, but she still probably has so much debt to her name. And here she is hiring a freaking camera crew to follow her around. Like the scam just continues.
It never ends. It never ends with her. 6 weeks after her release, ICE ended up taking Anna for overstaying her visa. She would stay in immigration detention for 1.5 years, the whole time fighting against deportation back to Germany. She was held in Jersey to await deportation. She legally contested this. She was still active in the media during this time, doing interviews, keeping up with Instagram. She was also working on her personal artistic projects.
Like being followed around by a film crew to create her own documentary like she wanted to in Morocco.
Yeah. The immigration judge said that if Anna is freed, she would continue to defraud people, which is true. She ended up filing a class action lawsuit against ICE at one point because she tested positive for COVID and said that they refused her a vaccine booster, which actually is very fucked up.
Yeah.
In 2022, Inventing Anna premiered on Netflix and became the most watched show of that week. So at least it had a big premiere. I feel like Julia Garner did a good job with the material. I just don't think the material was very good. She ended up doing an art show called Free Anna Delvey that featured artwork from 33 artists inspired by Anna at one point in 2022. Like, what is with her she's like obsessed with the art world, but she doesn't really create anything of her own.
Yeah, and who's even selling her anything, knowing her history?
Yeah, exactly. She began using her art to create NFTs and selling them also. She She ended up creating her own art exhibit later in 2022 where models walk through the second floor of the public hotel holding Anna's drawings in gold frames, and they were not good.
Wait, is this Send Bitcoin Anna Delvey special? Anna Sorkin special?
No, that is one of the artists that she commissioned to create art about her. That art is not bad. Her actual art is not good. Her
Yeah.
art. But she would still try to sell them for 10K a piece. Once a scammer, always a scammer. She said that 15% of the proceeds would go to children's charities, but she never specified which ones.
It's giving, yeah, I was like, it's giving set active. 2% of the proceeds will be donated to breast cancer awareness.
Yeah. In October 2022, she is released from ICE detainment on a $10,000 bail bond. She was required to stay at home 24 hours a day and wore an ankle monitor. She also was forbidden to use social media. Uh, she could leave her home for approved appointments, and she still had regular check-ins with ICE officers. And okay, sorry. By the end of 2022, she had miraculously sold over $340,000 worth of art. Her money was used to post that bail and pay rent for her $4,250 a month one bedroom apartment
Do you think people
downtown.
were purchasing her art because it was Anna Sorkin, Anna Delvey's art?
Yeah, 100%. They didn't
And they're
actually think it
just,
was good.
yeah, they're just like LOLing at her and like this is funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Who are these people? Like, show your face. Why are you uplifting this person? Like, I don't know. I don't understand like the psychology behind that of someone wanting to like move into the grift, like lean into the grift.
I don't,
It's very
people,
bizarre.
she has kind of like a cult following, you could argue. Like people like really respect her grift.
It's yeah, it's kind of like when people write letters to like serial killers in jail. It's like you have this obsession with people that do wrong and you
Yeah.
become fans and it's like you create this cult like
Yeah.
group that's obsessed with everything that you do. It's a very bizarre thing. Like not only is she bizarre, but the people that stan her are equally as bizarre.
Yeah, I think people that stand her though do not actually think that she did anything wrong. They're like she defrauded banks and rich people and hotels. But it's like at the same time, imagine being on the receiving end of her chaos and her fraud and think about like people got fired over like
Mm.
at that one, at one hotel she was at that restaurant that she didn't pay the bill for. Like people ended up getting fired because of her.
And how
So
stressful that must be for the hotel staff to have to
stressful.
run around and try and get her cash. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're defrauding a corporation, but at the same time, it doesn't minimize the impact and the stress that you had on the workers and the employees of that corporation and the mental
Yeah.
toll it must have taken on them. Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Like she caused a lot of stress to a lot of people's lives.
Yes,
Even if she didn't actually like murder anyone. Obviously like serial killers are way worse, but
of course.
she's not a good person. So even at home during house arrest, she was busy working on her reentry into public life. She launched her podcast, The Anna Delvey Show, in 2023. She would host recordings from her apartment. She was planning a reality TV project that never got off the ground. In 2023, it was in development but didn't have a network. Again, never really became of anything. And even though she was paid $320,000 for inventing Anna, she used so much of it for legal fees and paying people back. She was out of money again. She was trying to find different ways to earn. She was also later allowed to finally use online platforms in a limited capacity in late 2023. So that is when she started her Instagram career, I guess you could call it, if you can call it that. She was still wearing an ankle monitor and famously bedazzled it and would call paparazzi to take pictures of her leaving her apartment. Those pictures would go viral. In early 2024, she was allowed to move her house arrest to Hudson Valley, where she lived in, fun fact, Kelly Catrone's house in Cold Spring in her spare bedroom.
So funny. I went to the hills finale party at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel when the series ended. And I don't even remember how I got tickets to this thing. But one of the people that I met the whole cast, but Kelly Catrona, she was actually so fucking nice.
That's
Like,
so surprising. She's the scariest
yes,
person ever. So
she is.
it's funny because Anna said that Kelly actually was one of her biggest inspirations growing up because she watched The Hills and wanted to work in fashion PR. So they ended up becoming close friends and collaborated on projects for New York Fashion Week.
That's the most random thing I've
I
ever
know.
heard.
It's so bizarre. In August 2024, a judge says that Anna is now allowed to roam the city just in time for New York Fashion Week. She's issued a social security number. She's now allowed to legally work. Founds the Outlaw Agency with Kelly Cutrone. It's now a real business. Even though she's still technically under house arrest, she's allowed to move within 75 miles of her home and again is able to use social media. And who needs to leave their house when they can use social media? Sad, but true.
Yeah. Everything can be done from your phone now with the gig economy. It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She still has to wear an ankle monitor and she's still classified as a German national facing removal from the US if she is to break her probation. In September 2024, she goes on Dancing with the Stars. She's paired with Ezra Sosa. This is like so, I still cannot believe that Dancing with the Stars cast her.
Yeah, I feel like Dancing with the Stars, a bit, sorry, like a little bit of a conjecture, but Dancing with the Stars has really up leveled their casting because I feel like Dancing with the Stars before this season was kind of where celebrities who have been kind of irrelevant
Washed
try
up.
and, yes, like reinstate their career. But now it's like they have Alex Earl and Dylan Efron on people that are very much coming up or already up. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, great gig for Anna Delvey because Dancing with the Stars, every week that goes by, you continue to earn a lot of money. So it's in everyone's best interest to stay on the show as long as possible. So if she's
Yeah.
wanting to repay all those debts from her, you know, her lawsuits and everything, this is a great gig for her. But again,
Yeah.
why the fuck are we giving her a platform?
No, exactly. And Dancing with the Stars got a lot of backlash for this. It's like, why are
Yeah,
you rewarding a criminal with more fame? But that's such a good point that I feel like Dancing with the Stars used to be for like washed up, like D-listers. And now it's like Alex Earl at the height of her fame is on Dancing with the Stars. It's like,
right.
it's a good platform. I think that Alex Earl, I also saw that her podcast, Hot Mess, has like shot up in the charts. I think she's like gaining even more new fans from being on Dancing with the Stars. So it can be a great platform to, you know, gain more fans.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Anna, she was eliminated in the first round.
I remember that when she was
Mhm.
super embarrassed. And I think she was totally in denial. She's like, wait, what do you mean? I forgot where I heard that, but I think she was very shocked.
Yeah. It became a meme when she's asked during her exit interview what she learned during the experience, and she said nothing.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. Nothing.
And then she claimed that Dancing with the Stars was predatory and only cared about exploiting her for attention. And they purposely tried to make her look stupid.
Rich coming from her.
I know, seriously. Okay, so what she has been up to since then. She is still under house arrest in New York as of 2025 and continues to work on her various side quests as she continues to contest her deportation. Um, she's still working on her career in fashion. She's still doing photo shoots for brands, was busy during Fashion Week. She has modeled during Fashion Week. She's had quite the physical transformation. If you look at a before and after, like she kind of looks like a different person.
Yeah.
She also claims she's working on prison reform and developing a TV show with Kelly Cutrone. It's crazy also how much leeway ICE has given her with her ankle monitor on quote unquote house arrest. Like she was able to walk the runway during New York Fashion Week. Like,
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of her right now. Yeah, she's unrecognizable. Like this is not the same woman that was earlier on in your notes.
yeah, crazy. In May 2025, she was featured in the New Yorker's portfolio powerhouses inside the living rooms of notable New Yorkers. Um, she apparently lives in Fidei now. So she also was alongside Emrata and like other very notable and Lin-Manuel Miranda. Like I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, again, and Diane von Furstenberg, Martin Scorsese, Gloria Steinem. Like, it's actually nuts. They keep legitimizing her. Chloe
Yeah.
Sevigny. Why did I
Wow.
pronounce it like that? Sevigny. So yeah, apparently she's notable enough to be alongside Martin Scorsese and Lin-Manuel Miranda in The New Yorker.
I swear to God, it's this pretty privilege. Again, if she was someone that what lived in a bigger body, wasn't blonde,
Yeah.
I guarantee you she would not be able to. She one wouldn't have been able to continue. Yeah, wasn't white. She wouldn't have one been able to even keep the con up for more than a month. But the fact that all of these, uh, all of her well, what's the word I'm looking for? Like all the errors that she's made in her life, and she continues to attract more fans. And I just looked on her Instagram. She has over 1 million followers and she's hanging out with A-list, I mean, not A-list, maybe Hollywood celebrities. This is
Yeah.
like the definition of white privilege.
No, it literally is. It like actually
Yes.
the definition.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, in terms of her physical transformation, like we said, she actually admitted that she lost 40 pounds on Ozempic, and did a lot of beauty treatments, chemical peels, lasers. That's what she's admitted to. She also says that her looks have changed because she's happier and she has a house arrest boyfriend that she's been dating for 2 years. It's very obvious that she's had, Botox, fillers, potentially more than that, like an upper bleph. I don't know. Either way, again, she looks like a different person. And, that's what she's spending her money on these days.
Yeah.
It never is going towards anything productive, obviously. She also says that she walks around 4 miles a day around the city. Again, like, what is this house arrest?
Yeah, I don't understand that. I'm gonna need the document that discusses the parameters at which I have no idea.
Crazy. So, as for her most recent controversy, in August 2025, Bunnygate, Anna Delvey was the talent in a photo shoot that used rabbits. These rabbits were then found abandoned in Prospect Park.
Oh.
And the photographer was a young photographer named Jasper Soloff. And there was also a 19-year-old assistant on the shoot named Christian Batty, who was in charge of getting the rabbits. And people online noticed after she posted the photo shoot that these rabbits that mysteriously appeared were clearly the same rabbits from the photo shoot. And also the carrier was left there. And obviously, this got a lot of backlash from animal rights groups and just everyone in general on the internet. Um, Anna said that I will find and sue dimwits like yourself who simply refuse to accept that the bunnies that were borrowed for our shoot are safe at home with their owner. So she at first denied dumping the bunnies.
It's like, how do you deny there's bunnies running around freaking Bryant Park? Where was it?
Yeah, some park,
Yeah.
what park was it?
Like,
Um,
how do you deny it?
Prospect Park in
I,
Brooklyn.
I'm being so for real. People that live in this delusional mindset, I envy them.
I
Like,
know.
it genuinely, how much happier would I be if I thought everyone loved me, that everything in my mind was actually, in fact, real, that I'm incapable of doing any wrong? I just don't understand people that have this type of disorder in their mind. It must be so nice,
I know. Insane. Yeah,
not
it must
stressful at
it
all.
must be freeing. It must be genuinely
Yes.
freeing. So eventually the 19-year-old assistant admitted to it. He said, I need to be completely honest. I lied to you, Anna, and the rest of the team about the rabbits. The truth is I did abandon them in the park. It was wrong, cruel, and inexcusable, and I take full responsibility. When I realized the rabbits were being surrendered to me, I panicked. At 19 with no experience caring for animals, like what no one is expecting you to just start taking care of all of these rabbits on your own. Just find an animal shelter, right?
Right. Right. That's
So
animal cruelty, and that's where I draw the line.
so then Anna was like, "Okay, yeah, this did happen, but it's all the assistant's fault," and put him on blast. She posted her own statement completely blaming the assistant, called it Bunnygate. Um Yeah, it became a whole ordeal. She then posted that she donated $1,000 to Rabbit's Rescue. Then Anna, with her new sidekick Kelly Catrone, started beefing with that photographer because his lawyer tried to distance the photographer Jasper Sola from the situation. This was not Jasper's photo shoot, and he did not arrange any of the details surrounding it. Jasper had no knowledge or input as to how the bunnies were obtained or what happened to them after the photo shoot. Anna shared a screenshot where Kelly called him pathetic and a liar. People were questioning why the photos with the bunnies were still up on her Instagram because people were very offended by this whole situation. Meanwhile, a food blogger who rescued the bunnies gave an update saying that the bunnies are safe and she was looking for a new home for them. Meanwhile, Anna started selling Bunnygate merch that said, "Missing, have you seen me?" with a photo of a bunny on it. It is so disgusting. This is actually when I officially unfollowed her. I was like, fuck you. Imagine how scared those rabbits were.
No, that like actually breaks my heart that you have like dozens of rabbits on your person and you just dump them on a park and just walk away. Like, how could you?
Evil.
In
Evil.
good conscience, how could you just walk away from that?
And I refuse to believe that she had no knowledge of it because she was like, oh, all of the bunnies are in safe homes at first. And then eventually the assistant copped to it. And that's the assistant. I don't think that he made that decision entirely on his own at
Right.
all. She's a sociopath. She has proved that she's a sociopath. She posted alongside this merch with the caption, "The scandal they couldn't stop talking about. Now on a shirt that demands what the law doesn't. Accountability for abandoned animals. Provide the market and the demand that keeps the Benghazi pseudo story going." Perfect for anyone who's ever been wrongfully or rightfully accused, judged, or misjudged, convicted or acquitted, or who aspires to be known for their well-knownness. Wear the outrage and let the internet know you survived. Hashtag Bunnygate.
Tacky, disgusting, vile.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
Yeah.
So she pledged 20% of proceeds to go to animal organizations, which again, I highly, highly doubt that
Yeah, like,
she.
did she?
No,
Can I see the receipt?
yeah,
Anna
exactly.
Delvey?
I highly, highly doubt it. Um, but yeah, that is what Anna Delvey has been up to. I think she will continue to scam and defraud people. Let us know, you guys. Are you an Anna Delvey fan? Do you respect her hustle, her grift, or are you grossed out by her like I am? What are
I
your
think
thoughts, Christy?
I think Ponzi schemes, fraud against corporations, that would be a really interesting episode that we could do because I think this is an example of one person that's defrauded many like individuals, businesses, but I think stuff like the Elizabeth Holmes of it all, it's so interesting to me that a single person can do so much damage and con so many people into believing that what they're doing is correct and that
Yeah.
their mission is legitimate when in fact it's all just a lie. And I think it takes a certain type of personality to be able to con people into thinking that this is all a legitimate thing. It's
No.
crazy. Like I want to study it. It's genuinely it's like the same thing as cults, cult leaders and the psychology behind cult leaders and everything. That will be a really good episode that we
Oh,
should
definitely.
cover. But let us know, you guys, what other like fraudulent schemes have been your Roman Empire. Did you know much about Anna Delvey before this? Are you like a newbie like I am? Let us know in the comments. Anything that I missed?
Yeah,
Anything?
this was during like the heyday of like Elizabeth Holmes, Billy McFarland. Like we were Caroline Calloway. Like it was like a scammer renaissance
Yes.
around 2018. So she was primed to get a ton of attention. It's disappointing, like I said, that she is still getting attention and fans and gigs. But I guess that's our world. That's the world we live in. So let us know, you guys. What are your thoughts on Anna Delvey? Did you watch the show? Did you read the book? Uh, Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for listening. Like we said, we had a Patreon episode drop yesterday if you're interested. And every Wednesday, we have Patreon episodes at patreon.com/snarkbaitpod. And thank you to Jordan, our producer, Rachel, our social manager, Olivia, our researcher. You can find us at SnarkBaitPod on Instagram. I'm at Soph_Ross. Christy is at Christy Noel __. And yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you next time.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.